Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now I want to show you the garden really quick, and I know I just posted the garden tour this morning. I filmed that yesterday morning, and I want to show you just how different the garden can look in 24 hours. So the day before yesterday, we mowed. My husband mowed most of the yard, and then I mowed all of the area around the garden. And then yesterday, my husband ran the string trimmer. And with the property that we have, it took him 6.5 hours of string trimming to get it all done between all of the outbuildings and the house and everything that we have. And he string trimmed my entire garden for me. And then he took it one step further and he spent a couple of hours hand pulling weeds for me. The rain that we got yesterday kind of made it to where he couldn't work on what he originally planned to do yesterday. And so he was just keeping himself busy like we always do. There's always work to do. And I came out last night and I did not realize he was still out here working in my garden, but he weeded so much stuff. And yes, there's still grass, there's still weeds. That's how much it takes. He was out here just in my garden for 4 hours. And it's still not done. Partially, he ran out of string for our weed eater. And so part of it he just couldn't do. And then he hand pulled a ton. And then it was getting late and it was like 7:30 and I was like, you need to come inside. I really appreciate all that you have done out here, but come inside, take a break. But I wanted to show you and just show you how much work it takes and the mountain of weeds that we were able to pull out. I say we, I didn't do it. I did not do this. My husband did. The amount of weeds that he pulled out yesterday and how much of a difference one day of work can make in the garden. Now, if it were me, because I'm watching the kids all day, this would have taken me all week to do what he did in one afternoon. And I think that's partially why he did it, is he knew that I just was not going to be able to get it done because I'm watching the kids all the time. But let's go take a look. I did film a little bit of it this morning with the fog and everything, and I'll put that in this video too, because right now it's about 10 o'clock and the light is pretty bright, so it might not be as easy to see. But I'm so excited. It looks so good. And it's not done, but it looks so good. Okay, so you can see some of it here, but he weeded all through here. We still have this area we need to get to, but he got all of that done, and it looks so good. And yes, those are cabbage moths, and I'm not too worried about them. I could spray BT, or I could have sprayed BT at the beginning of the season, and it probably would have helped, but I didn't, and I've still been harvesting cabbage. In fact, in this video, we're going to make some sauerkraut together, but it looks so much better all through here. And then remember how weedy and messy it was between the raised beds? He string trimmed all of that. And then all down the edge of the black landscape fabric. And I had a pile of stuff, all these chairs and everything was piled over here. And so the grass had really grown up. He moved all that out and he took care of that. There is a mountain of weeds just from the pepper rows. That's just grass pulled out of 2 rows. So, and it's like knee high on me. But he hand pulled a lot of the grass in my green beans. Some of it he didn't pull because he was afraid it was going to pull the plant out. But look how much better that looks. He hand pulled the grass out from under my tomato rows to make it easier for me to come in and tie up my tomatoes. And then the worst 2 rows were the pepper rows. And it was getting so bad that my pepper plants were dying. So down there, the tall ones, that's eggplant. But the rest of them are peppers. And I really think that by having all this grass pulled out of here and he string trimmed the pathways, see the mulch from 2 years ago that I was talking about, and the black landscape fabric, and see even having that in place, you still have grass like crazy. because any little pinprick of a hole in the landscape fabric, and then of course the holes that you plant in, grass is going to grow right up through that. But anyways, I'm rambling a little bit, but the peppers are going to be able to do so much better now that that grass has been removed. And now that he's put in all that work, hopefully I can keep up with it a little better. We are not, we're back from vacation and everything, and so I'm here more, and hopefully it won't get away from me again, because that's really, when we went on vacation, that's when it got away from me. This is where that's where he ran out of string trim, and it's so funny. He ran out of the string for the weed eater in this very last little section of it. So once we get some more string, we'll go ahead and take care of that. But I really just wanted to show you that. And I just wanted to say that I didn't do it. My husband did it. And I'm so thankful that he did, because that's going to make my life this week so much easier. Because like I said, with watching the kids all day, every day, it would have taken me all week, and I still don't know that I would have been able to get that much done. So super thankful for that. And it looks so much better. And Maggie is currently asleep. She's taking a nap, and my son is at his dad's house for the weekend. So we're gonna head inside. I've got some sauerkraut that I need to make. I had a few cabbage heads that were starting to split from all the rain. So I've got 3 of them left. I cooked one yesterday and it was so good. But I've got 3 left, and we're gonna make a little bit of kraut. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna make some sauerkraut. I'm just gonna start by cutting up my cabbage. I'm trying to be a little bit quiet because my daughter's asleep. I've got the monitor here, but I don't wanna wake her up. So I just picked this cabbage yesterday, and I brought it inside and I soaked it in salt water. That helps bring some of the buggies out. I garden organically, and so there's bugs, usually always, especially in brassicas. And so I cooked one of these cabbage heads yesterday, and after it had soaked and I cut it up, there was no problems inside. After the initial soaking, the bugs were all out of it. So I'm hoping that that's the case with these. I may come across 1 or 2 caterpillars, and I'll just have to make sure I get rid of those and clean that cabbage. But I'm just gonna start by slicing them, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna do to get them packed into the jars. So I probably am slicing it a little thicker than some people do, but that's just personal preference. You can do what you want. I've actually never made it this way before. I'm gonna do it in individual jars, and I'll show you that here in a minute. I've always done it where you like put all the cabbage in a bowl and you put your salt and everything in there, and then you pack that into the jars. I'm trying it this way after watching Megan over at True Grit Appalachian Ways. She did it, and I forget the channel that she said that she saw this method on, but I'm just gonna try it and see if I like it this way. I've only made sauerkraut just a couple of times, so it's not like I'm an expert by any means, but I do really like sauerkraut. And then since I was able to grow some cabbage this year, I would rather try to make it than purchase it. But if it doesn't make or whatever, I will purchase some from Azure Standard. That's kind of my backup. And I'm thinking my daughter is trying to wake up, so I may have to put this project on hold and go tend to her. Well, I'm watching her here on the monitor. We'll see what she does. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt in the bottom of my jar. And I'm just using pink salt from Costco. And then I'm just going to put my cabbage in. Now, I don't know how many jars this is going to make. Probably, I set 3 jars out. It may make 4, I'm not sure. I've got 2 more big, well, not big cabbage heads in there, but I've got 2 more cabbage heads in there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go upstairs. My daughter's definitely awake now. We'll put this project on hold and we'll come back to it. My daughter's not really cooperating for me to finish this project right now, so I'll have to finish the other 2 heads of cabbage later. But I cut up 1 head and it filled 2 quart jars. I have just a little bit left. I have my teaspoon of salt at the bottom, filled it with cabbage, packed it down, 1 teaspoon of sugar on top, and then I'm just gonna pour water over the top, put the lid on, and put them in a covered place for a couple of weeks. And I'll check on them every day or so. Like I said, my daughter's not really cooperating, so I'm gonna have to go back up again. She had gone back to sleep and now she's awake. I think she's got a little bit of the same cold I've been fighting. So anyways, we'll have some sauerkraut and I'll update you when it's ready. Bye, Maggie. Bye, Maggie. Maggie's gonna ride with Dad in the tractor for just a little bit. One of her favorite things to do. Well, Maggie's gonna ride for 30 or 40 minutes or so, and I'm gonna run back to the house. We're just in the pasture right next to the house. So I'm gonna run back to the house and get a little bit of work done, and Kyle's gonna call me when I need to come get her. Well guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I thought I'd be able to film a little bit more as the day progressed, but it ended up just being one of those days where just things did not go according to plan, and that's okay. I got done at least a little bit, and we're just gonna move on and try again tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video.